Hello and welcome back to the Blackjack live coding exercise. I just want to take this time to do a little bit of troubleshooting and show you a couple of other errors that might have shown up while you were coding this. So real quick, I've left it on this screen for a reason, but I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. I've configured my IDE to run this program. So we start running it. It says, "Welcome to the casino. How much would you like to bet?" Let's say $50. Great. Now nothing's happening, and you can hear my fans are starting to spin up because my processor's working hard. That means that there's an issue. Well, what's the issue? Well, if you hear your computer starting to spin up and start acting like it's overworking itself, double check to make sure that you don't have any infinite loops. Infinite loops will just keep going and going in the background. They might not even show what's going on. Here, on assign card names, we have current card is 0 while current card is less than length card list. It does all of these actions, but it doesn't increment current card. That was a mistake that I made and I forgot to point out during my corrections video. So here, let's go ahead and do current card plus equals 1. That way it will actually go through each individual card and not just do the same card over and over and over again. Notice it was never getting to return card names, so it couldn't tell me what the cards were. So let's go ahead and run it again. Keep troubleshooting. $50. Great. Bet placed of 50. Good luck. 15 versus 10. 15. 5 of spades, jack of diamonds. Would you like to hit or stay? Let's do stay. Player stays. Dealer has 17. Dealer stays. Dealer wins with 17. Would you like to play again? No. Great. Awesome, so that worked out. So there's a couple of things that I've identified just by running this program one time that I'd like to fix. First of all, time sleep 3 kind of took a long time. I think it's a little bit too much time and I'm going to adjust that. I'm going to turn it down to 2. Second of all of this stuff is in one big block, which makes it kind of hard to read. So it's helpful to put new lines in. And then third of all, it was able to detect stay, but I might want to give it a couple of more commands of things that I want to do. So let's go ahead and fix these issues. First of all is the time.sleep. So let's do time.sleep. And here we're actually going to do a edit, find, and replace. Let's replace time sleep 3 with time.sleep 2. Just make it a little bit more snappier. Alright, we have 4 uses. Let's just replace them all. I trust it. Great. So now we've done that and we fixed it. We can close that out. Great. So that was the first thing. The second thing is spaces. So I think that here we have Trial and Error Casino. Let's make a space after Trial and Error Casino so it's a little bit more like a title. So Trial and Error Casino is at the top. Control Shift minus on PyCharm will collapse all of your functions, which is really helpful. And I think that excuse me, if name is main, great, does all this stuff. Trial and Error Casino, let's add a new line to the end of that. How much would you like to bet? Bet placed to 50, that's great. After good luck, I would like it to give me another space. So we're going to do round loop yes. Let's go ahead and look at bet loop. That's what we want. How much would you like to bet? We're going to do a new line after that. And we're going to do a new line after good luck. Great. That way it's going to be in a block. Player has 15. Dealer shows 10. And I'd like it to tell me that there was no blackjacks found. And then we'll do a new line after that. That way, in between this and this, we're going to get no blackjacks found. And let's do a new line at the beginning too, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Player has 15, 5 of spades, jack of diamonds. So during player loop, before would you like to hit or stay, let's do another new line. And then before player hits, I'd like a new line, and before player stays, I'd like a new line. Great, same with dealer loop. Before dealer has, I'd like a new line there. I'd like dealer hits to be separated out, and I'd like dealer stays to be separated out. Great. during final comparisons, I'd like to do a new line before each of the different victory conditions. That sounds great. And I'm attaching them here. You could, instead of this, you could instead just do it a little bit more simply and do print /n. That will just print a new line automatically. Great, here's the writing, and then would you like to play again? Great. And then let's do one more new line here. Great, that fixes the new line issue, so we talked about that. Finally, would you like to hit or stay? Stay. I don't want to type stay every single time. Call me a little bit lazy, but I don't think that we should make the users type in the full string for hit or stay each time. So let's go to each time that we do a user prompt. Let's see, this is creating the game. A bet amount is going to be fine. It's just going to be a number. Let's see, player has, dealer shows. Player turn loop. Would you like to hit or stay? Instead of doing it this way, making them type hit, here's what we're going to do. If hit choice capitalize in, and then we're going to create a list, hit H, whoops, that should be a comma because it's a list, hit H, yes, Y, let's do card, and then that way, if the player types in hit, then it will register as hit. If the player types in H, it will hit. Player types in yes, like yes, I would like another card, great. Player types Y, that works as well, and card will also work. So these are the 5 responses that it will recognize as hits. Great, here, dealer, we don't have user input, so we don't need to worry about it. And then here, would you like to play again? We're going to do the opposite. We're going to do in, and let's make a list of all the responses that we expect. That's going to be here and here. That's going to be no, N, stop, S, exit, end, and let's even do X, just for old school people. So if any of these responses are received, notice that they're all capitalized for the first letter because we're using capitalize. Same with up here, we use the capitalize method, so it's going to give us capitalized responses, so all of these have to have their first letter capitalized. That way it gives us an array of options that we can put. Great. And here for staying, it can be literally anything else, just to be on the safe side. You can instead do elif and then do another list of stay statements, but because there's only 2 options, I think it's safe to do it this way for now, but if when you're coding it, you're welcome to do it that way. Let's go ahead and do another debug run. Whoops, looks like we had a mistake. Alright, line 80, here's how we trace it back. File is the file we're in. Line 84, let's go to line 84. Welcome to the trial and error casino. Oh, look at that. Our string never ended. So we need to make sure that our string ends. Great. Try again. How much would you like to bet? 50. Notice our new lines are sticking in there. Great. Player has 12. 2 of hearts, jack of spades. Dealer shows 5. 5 of diamonds. No blackjacks found. That's great. That's new. Player has 12. Hit or stay. I'm just going to try H. Great. Hit. Receive an 8 of hearts. That's a good hit. I'm going to go ahead and S for staying. Dealer has 15, dealer's going to hit, dealer gets a 2, dealer's going to stay, and we're going to win the game. Awesome possum. Player wins with 20. Would you like to play again? Now here's one other thing that I'd like to do. I just did N for no, great. One more thing I'd like to do is it tells me that player wins with 20. Great, well how much money did I win? How much money did I have? So let's go ahead and here, F string literal, player wins, let's do our F string literal, user bet, and is up to player money. Here we're going to have player loses, and again, user bet, and is down to player money. and then player loses nothing and currently has player money. Now notice, before I even run it, I know I'm going to have a mistake here, because notice it's going to tell me player wins this amount, that's fine, and is up to player money. Well, we haven't adjusted player money yet, so we need to make sure that this string comes after player money is assigned, and then that way it will know how much money I actually have, not how much money I had before getting my money back. Great. And we're going to do the same. We're going to take these strings here and we're going to bring them up to blackjacks. So here we want to do where our blackjack check is. If blackjack check is player blackjack, dealer blackjack, or whatever, here we're going to do the same thing. Player wins X amount of money, and we're going to do 2.5 times user bet, and is up to player money. Although it's actually 1.5, remember, because he's winning 1.5 times the amount that he bet, and is up to player money. Great. Dealer blackjack, this is going to be the same string as here. Player loses, whoops, too far. Dealer blackjack, print player dealer blackjacks with X. Player loses X amount of money and is down to player money. Great. And then double blackjack is this eventuality, which is player loses nothing and currently has player money. Great. That will handle telling us how much money we have. Let's go ahead and run it again. I'm thinking that it's going to feel pretty good now. 50 bucks. Great. Look at that. Player blackjacks with a jack of clubs and an ace of clubs. That is great. Player wins 75 bucks and is up to 745. I'm noticing that they're showing a decimal because of the math that we did because we did multiplication with decimals, it's going to tell you that. That's fine though. We can go ahead and clean that up some other way if we'd like. Actually, we could, yeah, but we're going to leave that as that for now. Would you like to play again? Let's try a Y. Yes. How much would you like to bet? And that's going to be 25. Player has 10, dealer shows 9, no blackjacks found. Great, I'm going to hit with an H. Player receives a jack of hearts, player has 20. Would you like to hit or stay? Now here's something interesting. We don't have to type stay, right? Because remember, it's just a blanket else statement. So I could say ooga booga, and it will know that I want to stay. Just a little cute side note. Dealer stays, player wins with 20, great, and is up to 770. Would you like to play again? No. Awesome. So that is good, and then if we start over again, I see it's going to have an issue because of our multiplication. So what we're going to do is, just for the sake of this tutorial and to make it a little bit easier to deal with, let's just go ahead and do, instead of 1.5 times money, player money, let's just do a little bit extra money. If you win, you get double what you bet, and we'll make it 2 times user bet. That way everyone's happy and we don't have to worry about, you can edit it as a string or you can specify the number of digits, but for here, for simplicity's sake, we'll just keep it as whole numbers. And a little cheat code is, if you are in your project file and you look at your money.txt, notice here's the money.txt, we can just delete that file, whoops, delete that file, and then when we run it again, it will start over with $500. Notice it's not telling me how much money I have, so that's something else we can fix. This is why the troubleshooting process is really helpful. Always run your code as many times as you can before showing it to anybody or handing it off, because small things like this will bother you, and once you've given that program to someone else, it's hard to claw it back and say, use this new version, use this new version. So you want everything to be settled out perfectly fine. So for bet loop, we're going to do print you have, and let's make an F string literal so that we can put in our player value or our player money in the bank. And let's go ahead and stop and rerun. You have $500 in the bank. How much would you like to bet? Bet 25. Great. Player has 16. Dealer showing king. No blackjacks found. I'm going to stay. Press my luck. Dealer has 13. Dealer's going to hit, get a 21, and we're going to lose. Great. So now we see player loses $25, is down to $475. Would you like to play again? One last thing that's going to bother me is that when we lose and we're up or down, I want a $ there just to make it pretty. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the way that this works. Now my next step, like I said, is to test, make sure that everything works as intended. So I'm going to go offline and keep playing this just to make sure that everything works. Otherwise, I'll be posting this version of the code that you see right in front of you on the download link in the description below, and you'll be able to download it yourself and work on it however you like. So thanks again for watching, and don't forget, test. That's the only way to make your programs work. Thanks.